Hey, Mosaic, this message is for you. And if you are a part of Mosaic, I really want to encourage you to watch our video this Sunday because I am going to be expanding on what I'm about to share in much greater detail. But I just couldn't wait until Sunday to say a few things. So I'm just going to say a few things from my heart about what's happening in our world right now. Because the truth is, my heart and my soul has been grieving and has been sobered in these weeks more than any time I can remember in my life. And I think many of you probably share that sentiment. And so, again, I'm just going to share a few thoughts with you right now. I really want to encourage you to join us on Sunday. The video that probably all of us have watched, where George Floyd was brutally murdered on the streets, it just rocked me to the core. And I've been just thinking about it and pondering why, and just a few thoughts that come to mind. First thought, just the violence right in my face. The act of anti-God, the act of hatred, the act of racism on full display. It rocked me. And I've thought so many times about the other officers that were present. It's like, okay, there's this one person consumed by evil, doing this horrific act of murder. Where were the other officers? And I've just wondered so many times about how they could stand by and watch that. I've thought about the other bystanders that were literally on the street. And I don't know who was there. I don't know their stories. But I've thought, having been a bystander on video, what it must have been like to be present in that moment. And I've thought, what would I have done? And I've been so moved by the evil of that moment. And the truth is, it was just sin on display. Sin in its purest form, like anti-God. The Genesis 1:27 of every human is made in the image of God, and then the image of God being destroyed in that moment on camera. The anti-God, where the church is the manifold wisdom. The church is the beautiful display of God's glory, made up of every tribe and every tongue and every type of person. And then, so you see this person, this display of God's glory being killed by another person. The act of racism that it has just brought to light in so many different ways in our country and even around the world because of the display of this anti-God moment that we get to see. And I have to share a few thoughts. First, I just want to say something to our Black brothers and sisters that are a part of Mosaic. I cannot pretend to imagine what you are feeling and what you are going through. I have talked with a few of you in these weeks. I have tried to imagine the feelings and thoughts that you must be having, but I can't. And I just want to say, whatever you are feeling, we're with you in that. If you're sad, we are so sad. If you're angry, we're with you in the anger. If you're confused or whatever it is that you're feeling, I cannot pretend to understand. My place right now is not to explain anything about anything. I just want to say in this moment that I'm with you, that I want to sit with you, that I understand some of those feelings. I understand sadness. I understand anger. And I just want to know that you know that we're with you. And I want to say this about our church. Our view on race has been spoken again and again simply through our name. If you're a part of Mosaic, then you've heard me describe why our church is called Mosaic many times. Our church is called Mosaic because we believe that the church is a picture of many different types of people. Broken, gifted in different ways, with different personalities, with different backgrounds, with different colors, all different types of people, every different type of person coming together. In our brokenness, being unified to be a display of the glory of God. That's why we're called Mosaic, and that remains to be our position. You know, I've had a lot of questions like, what does Mosaic think about racism? What does Mosaic think about George Floyd? Andrew, what do you think? Say something. And I'm like, nothing's changed. Like, our position has been the same always. We believe every person is created in the image of God, and that the church looks like the display of every kind of person, and that we're all broken, and that we all have sin, and that we've all opposed God, and that we all are meant to fix our eyes on Jesus. And I just want to talk about that for a minute, because the right response in this situation, first and foremost, is Jesus. We are to be people who fix our eyes on Jesus. It is where we go when we face sin. It's where we go when we face our own sin. It's where we go when we face the sin all around us. It's Jesus. This has been said, but it's true. So I'm going to say it again. There can't be any justice without righteousness. And so there can't be any justice without Jesus. And so Mosaic, our first and foremost step is always Jesus. When we desire justice, we run to Jesus. When we see injustice, we run to Jesus. This is who we are. And I know some of us have had this feeling of like praying isn't enough, or worship isn't enough, or maybe you've even thought like Jesus isn't enough. And I just want to come against that thought. Jesus is the answer. Praying is the most important thing we can do. Worship is the most important thing we can do. Of course, there are other things, but don't skip over the main thing. Jesus. Jesus is righteousness for our world. Sin causes us to cry out, and that cry looks so many different ways. But at its core, that cry is a cry for Jesus. And so if you know Jesus, if you're a part of the church, would you join me in this time, in your grief, in your anger, in all of your emotions, to fix your eyes on Jesus? Second thing I want to talk about our response is to allow God to search your own soul. Will you fix your eyes on yourself before the living God? So many of us are fixing our eyes on others. Don't forget to fix your eyes on yourself. I love how David writes it in Psalm 139. He says, "Search me, O God. Know my heart. See if there be any evil in me, and lead me in the way that is everlasting." That has been my prayer, and I hope it's your prayer, Mosaic. However you're thinking about this, wherever you feel like you fit in this, there's a place for every one of us to invite God to search our soul. There's a place for every one of us to invite God to search our hearts and to expose and to convict the places in us that are evil. And then to repent, to then walk in the way that is right, to turn, to change in all the ways that God exposes in us that need to be changed. And finally, I want to just share one other step, and I'm really going to expand on this in the video this Sunday, but I heard this acronym that's been helpful for me for many reasons in terms of a right response, and it is HIT, H-I-T. And of course, I don't mean hit the wall or hit another person, but it's been helpful for me to remember this acronym, HIT. And I think it's a right response. And it's not something that we can do in a day. I know so many of us want to do something today. We're like, we want to solve the problem. And part of that is just our generation of wanting to microwave everything and just get it done and feel like we did something today. But the idea of a response that is hit, it's going to take weeks. It's going to take months. It's going to take years, but it's going to lead to real change. HIT simply is this: we've got to get a historical perspective, we've got to get an immersive experience, and we've got to get a theological conviction. And I think many of us have one of those, or maybe two of those, but the question to ask is, do you have all three of those? Do you have a historical perspective that addresses these times, that addresses the question of racism? Do you have a historical perspective on our country? Do you have a historical perspective on our world? Go get one. Do you have an immersive experience? Do you have friends that don't look like you? Do you have relationships? Are you having conversations of people that have different colored skin than your own? We have to immerse ourselves. And finally, do you have a theological conviction? It will not be enough to ride off of someone else's idea. You cannot just repost your whole life. You cannot just live someone else's ideas. You've got to get your own theological conviction. You've got to hear God. You've got to search the scriptures. So I would encourage you in these three ways to fix your eyes on Jesus, church, to allow God to search you, and then to get a historical perspective, an immersive experience, and a theological conviction. I believe this is an opportunity moment. And Mosaic, we are going to seize it. Love you all. I look forward to more this Sunday.